Garden is at the west end of the Botanical Garden and is our yes space for kids and families. During this past year, this space has been more important than ever for our community. I'm Annette Huddle, Director of Youth Education Programs here at San Francisco Botanical Garden. For the last 20 years, I've been running programs here for school groups, teachers, trying to make sure that every child in San Francisco gets a chance to experience the natural world. Since reopening the Children's Garden in July 2020 with the support of our amazing volunteers, we've been able to bring back our Bean Sprouts Family Days program, sponsored by Kaiser Permanente. We've served over 1,000 families in the past 9 months, and we've just expanded into Saturdays as well, which we hope will make the program more accessible for more families.
Hi, I'm Lisa Lynn. My family and I live in the inner Sunset of San Francisco, and we have a 5-year-old son, Wesley. I've been bringing Wesley to the gardens since he was an infant. We would traverse the paths of the garden, and I would rock him to sleep in the stroller and walk for hours as he napped. As he got older, we continued to come, and it was always a really fun time, but especially coming to the Children's Garden was actually such a relief as a mother. Because it's a place where he can roam and touch and smell. He likes to come to the garden, play the pine cone basketball. He likes to jump from stump to stump. He likes to look at the berries in berry season and pick 1 or 2 and pop them in his mouth. It's an experience in the city that you can't get in other places. The San Francisco Botanical Garden and the Children's Garden in particular have been such an important part of our family's lives for the past 5 or 6 years since my son was born. And during the pandemic, we realized that we really needed to recommit ourselves to the city of San Francisco and its institutions.
The Garden's youth education programs are a valuable community partner that is not only serving children and families through meaningful programs, but also leading in the environmental education community and collaborating on projects that extend their reach far beyond the Garden's gates. The Garden's youth education programs are a critical piece of an essential network of citywide organizations working to address the disparities in nature access along socioeconomic and racial lines to ensure that all kids have the opportunity to play, learn, and grow in the outdoors. This past year alone, the youth education program, including the after-school kids, supported the assembly of 10,500 seed kits that went out to San Francisco students to bring nature and science curriculum into the home. They've also helped repurpose natural materials such as pine cones, branches, and even bamboo for nature play in family child care homes and early child care centers so that they can connect with nature every day.
I'm Sally Ho, and I'm a first grade teacher at West Porter Elementary, and I actually have a Chinese immersion class. And I've been bringing my students to the guided walk program since 2007. The students actually learn about plants in the classroom through books, videos, and pictures, but when they're here at the garden, they're able to use their senses. One of my students, her name is Iris, and she had actually never seen an iris before in real life, and then when she was here, she got so excited about it, seeing a real iris, so she was really happy about it.
I'm Dressa Magnolia Barzilay, and I'm the Director of Learning and Engagement here at San Francisco Botanical Garden. I grew up in San Francisco, born and raised, and the garden was always a special place for me and my family. I feel so fortunate to be passing my childhood connection to the garden to my own 2 children. The garden is our backyard, our dining room, sometimes even our study hall. In 2019, our first year of garden camp, we were so excited by our success and were dreaming big about 2020. Then COVID hit. Despite the challenges presented by the pandemic, we pushed forward with Garden Camp, knowing that after a spring of sheltering in place, children and families needed this opportunity. We ran 6 weeks of camp, not too far off from our original plan of 11. As the summer came to a close and it became clear that students were not returning to school in the fall, we heard families as they asked for a school year solution. I needed to continue providing safe, fun, outdoor spaces that were the antidote to distance learning and a critical support for working parents. I could feel the desperation in others, and I recognized it in myself. The Garden After School program was created to meet these needs, providing a plant-rich environment for socio-emotional development for kids and a stable childcare solution for caregivers. One piece of the puzzle remained: Our fee-based programs presented financial barriers to some families. Our standing scholarship program wasn't able to meet community need, which is greater than ever due to the economic impacts of COVID. We need your support today to build a scholarship fund that can serve a greater number of families, in particular diverse children from neighborhoods with less access to safe outdoor space, with educational, enriching, healing time with peers in the garden.
My name is Liz, and this is Danny. The after-school program at the Botanical Garden has meant so much to us during this very difficult time. Before we found the program, we were desperate for Danny to be outdoors with his peers in a safe and inclusive environment, and the program that we found has brought that to us. It's been such a joy, and we are so grateful to have it. Please fund this for more families to enjoy it for years to come.
This year, we've seen more families than ever at the Botanical Garden, and with your support, we can continue to grow.
We're almost back to school, so please help us make the first field trip back to the garden soon.
Please help us today. We need nature for every child every day.